Welcome to Mindfulness, Living the Buddha Way. Today we are discussing unlocking ancient secrets for better sleep tonight. Tired of tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m.? What if the secret to deep, restorative sleep isn't a new mattress or a supplement, but a simple 3-step mental shift used by monks for centuries? Here's something that blew my mind. Monks have been using the same 3-step sleep technique for over 2,000 years, while we're spending billions on sleep aids that barely work. Today we're exploring why ancient wisdom might be the answer to our modern insomnia epidemic.
That's fascinating because studies show we're sleeping worse than ever. About 70% of adults report regular sleep issues, despite all our fancy sleep tech and supplements.
You know what's really interesting about this Buddhist approach? It completely ignores all the external stuff we obsess over. The perfect mattress, the ideal room temperature, the latest sleep tracking gadget.
So what's their secret then? Because clearly whatever they're doing is working if it's survived 2 millennia of practice.
Well, it all comes down to 3 mental techniques that prepare your mind for sleep. Think of it like landing a plane. You can't just cut the engines and expect to hit the ground safely.
That's such a perfect analogy. Most of us are basically trying to crash land into sleep, aren't we?
Exactly. The first technique is called wind down, and it's way more specific than just turning off your phone. It's about consciously disconnecting from the day's mental chaos.
So how exactly does that work in practice?
Well, imagine your mind is like a car going 100 miles per hour. You need time to gradually slow down. You can't just slam on the brakes and expect to stop instantly without consequences.
That makes so much sense. But what about when your mind is racing with worries even after you've tried to wind down?
That's where the second technique comes in, active gratitude. And before you roll your eyes, this isn't your typical gratitude journal exercise. The monks specifically recommend mentally listing people who've supported you and sending them silent thanks.
Oh, that's interesting because research shows gratitude actually triggers the parasympathetic nervous system. It physically shifts us from fight or flight to rest and digest.
Right. And here's what's really fascinating. It's literally impossible to feel anxious and genuinely grateful at the same time. Your brain just can't do both simultaneously.
But what about that nagging feeling of not being good enough that keeps so many of us awake?
That's exactly what the third technique addresses. They call it recall good deeds. It's about consciously remembering the positive things you did that day, no matter how small.
You mean like holding the door for someone or sending a supportive text to a friend?
Precisely. And here's why it works. Most insomnia is actually driven by subconscious feelings of unworthiness or regret. By validating your own positive actions, you're directly addressing that root cause.
That's fascinating because modern sleep research shows that positive self-reflection before bed can increase both sleep quality and duration by up to 30%.
And what really strikes me about all 3 techniques is that they're completely accessible. You don't need to buy anything, download anything, or even change your schedule dramatically.
Just a shift in mental approach. But I imagine consistency is key here?
Absolutely right. The monks emphasize that this isn't a quick fix. It's about building a sustainable pre-sleep ritual that addresses the actual causes of insomnia rather than just treating symptoms.
And when you think about it, that makes perfect sense. We can't expect to undo years of poor sleep habits overnight.
Here's what I suggest for anyone listening. Try this 3-step approach tonight. Start with a gradual wind-down period, then spend a few minutes on active gratitude, and finally, recall 3 good things you did today.
And remember, those good deeds don't have to be huge. Even small acts of kindness count.
You know what's really powerful about this approach? It transforms bedtime from something we dread into an opportunity for positive reflection and personal growth.
That's such a paradigm shift from seeing sleep as just another task we need to optimize.
And if you do find yourself awake at 3 a.m., at least you'll have some genuinely positive things to think about while you're waiting for sleep to come.
Though with consistent practice, those 3 a.m. wake-ups might become a thing of the past.
The bottom line is this: while we've been chasing the perfect sleep environment, the monks have known for centuries that true rest begins in the mind. Maybe it's time we started listening to their wisdom. Thank you for spending these moments in mindfulness. If this reflection brought you a little calm, you can return whenever you need. Until next time, live gently.